What's up, you guys? Matt with Matt Bills coming at you with another video. So this is gonna be a little bit different, but not really. I went to take my son's car to the tune shop today to get it tuned, and got in the car, hit the key, and we had an issue with it the other day, just a loose battery connection. But I hit the key on it and it just clicked, and all the interior lights and everything went out. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to kind of show things to do when your car won't start. And now this is going to be for a particular non-start situation, but as I go through the video I'll kind of tell things to look for. But let's get into it. Okay, so we're in the car here. As you can see, we have interior dome lights, but we're going to hit the starter right quick and just kind of show you what it's doing, and then we'll go from there on the diagnostics. So we just had a couple clicks right there and nothing really happened. We still have dash lights and everything, but we're going to go down and check underneath the hood, and I'm going to kind of show you some things to look forward to get started. Okay, we're underneath the hood. So what I have here is a voltmeter. You can pick these up pretty cheap from like Harbor Freight. You can probably find them on Amazon pretty cheap. You can get the digital ones like I have, or you can get the analogs. The digital ones, they usually cost a few dollars more. The analogs are pretty cheap. But we're going to set this thing to 20 volts DC. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook these two terminals, red to the positive, black to the negative. I'm going to get him to hit the key. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to touch it to the battery post itself. Not here, but we're going to touch it to the battery post itself here. And what I want to do is I want to see how many volts I am getting. So I'm gonna try to do this with one hand and still film. So right now we're at 12.5 volts. What I'm gonna get him to do is hit the key switch, and let's see if the battery drops on this, or the voltage drops on this battery here. And then we'll be able to tell if it's pulling a load, we have a weak cell on the battery, or if we just have a connection issue. All right, go ahead and hit it. So as you can see, the battery voltage didn't drop really. We're at 12.4 volts, so that leads me to believe that it's not a battery voltage issue, that it is a connection issue. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look for, and I kind of had already seen this, but that's why I want to kind of film this. So if you look right down inside of there, you'll see some corrosion right down inside of there. And also if you look on this negative post, you'll see some corrosion around there. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the negative terminal loose first, and then take the positive terminal loose. I always work that way. I always take the negative loose first, the positive, loose after that. When I put them back on, I'll put the positive on first, then put the negative on. But we're going to take both of these off. I got a little tool here. I'll show it to you in just a second. That you can pick these things up from, again, like Harbor Freight. They're like $1 or $2. But they're little battery post cleaners. We're going to get these posts cleaned up, and then we're going to put everything back together, and we're going to see if that fixes the problem. So I've got these terminals pulled loose, and right off the bat, look at the corrosion on that terminal and down inside there. I mean, I'm pretty confident that this is going to be the issue, but we're going to try it and see. And look at all the corrosion that came out of that one on that ground terminal. This ground terminal probably needs to be replaced too, but we're going to see if just getting this thing cleaned off will get it going. This is the tool right here that you can get from Harbor Freight. It's a battery terminal post cleaner. It's got little wire brushes in there. That's to clean the post. And then on this end, it has a little wire brush that you can use to clean inside your terminal. So I'm gonna get this cleaned up, and we'll be back with you in a minute. All right, so we got them cleaned up pretty good here. As you can see, we got both of the terminals cleaned up pretty good. They're not perfect, but much better than they were. So I'm gonna get these put back on. I did end up using a wire brush like this. So if you go to Harbor Freight to pick up one of these little tools right here, grab you a little wire brush. It doesn't necessarily have to be this big, but it's just good to have a wire brush to kind of get down in there, in that corner right there, because this tool doesn't want to get way down in there really good. So get a wire brush, knock that off too. We're gonna get these terminals put back on and see what happens. All right, we got both of the battery posts back on, terminals back on, got them good and tight. You want to make sure you can't spin them or nothing. You want to make sure everything's good and tight. All your connections are good and tight. You also, if you have any terminals like this, you want to look up in there and make sure there's no corrosion up inside there. If there is some corrosion up inside there, you want to take these off, take these 2 bolts right here loose, and clean all that corrosion out you can. Also too, I want to point this out. Your cables can also corrode from the inside out. So if this doesn't fix it, you may also want to check your cables. They may be corroded. You may have to put new cables on it. But we're going to go ahead and hit it. Also too, if you have any connections like this, you want to make sure take those apart and clean all those up too. If you need some sandpaper, you may hit it off with some sandpaper, but we're going to go ahead and try to crank this thing and see what it does.
Two hours later.
Nothing? Okay, so I'm back with you. What we got here is a little bit of redneck engineering here. So as I stated earlier in the video, if you have a connector like this, you may want to check and see if you have any corrosion in there. Well, we did. So what I've done here is I had some terminals and a little bit of heat shrink. I took the ground wires loose, stripped them back, cut them, went ahead and crimped some new terminals on there, put a little bit of heat shrink on there, and got everything good and tight. So he's going to hit it and see what it'll do. All right, so we got all the lights was working. As you saw, it cranked up perfect. We got good battery voltage over there, which we knew that because we tested it with a meter. But that was it, you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this video out. Went through basically, pulled both of the terminals loose, cleaned them up, tried it. As you saw in the video, that didn't work. So I came back and did some more inspections, and you can kind of see how it's corroded down inside there. And I'm not going to leave this like this. This was kind of just temporary to see if that was the issue. I'll probably go and get another new terminal or 2 new terminals that are like this, and we'll put one on each one. Just get some brand new terminals on it. They also make some stuff that you can put on your posts that actually help prevent corrosion. So I'll probably pick some of that up also. But I just want to make a quick video, show you guys that, you know, if you're having some no start conditions, check this battery. Corrosion can be a big deal, and it can save you a lot of money if you know how to do this yourself. So I really appreciate you guys watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see y'all on the next one.